All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It is December 21st, 9:02 a.m. Thank you very much for being on the call. We only have one more of these next week for the year, so I appreciate you guys being on the call. It is, lock-in at this point right now until we hit OEP on January 1st, but it's always good to be on these calls, get in the groove, stay in the groove, and so that way you're ready to run in January. So this week on the training calendar, it's very, very light. As you can imagine, we do have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day this week. So the only thing I have on the calendar is today at 11 a.m. Devoted is hosting their broker coffee and chat session. So if you have any questions or concerns about Devoted Health, they're there to answer those questions for you this morning at 11 a.m. Again, it's market specific to Orlando, but if you have any global questions, you're more than welcome to join. And then the only other training is this Thursday, Christmas Eve, December 24th at 11:30. Same deal. Devoted is also hosting their coffee and chat session. That one's for Jacksonville, but again, anywhere in the world that you offer Devoted, they can answer your questions. I'm sure of it. So that's it for the training for the week. Again, very, very light. We have the holidays this week, so there's no surprise there. But I do want to talk about a couple updates that are coming through. First of all, I've had some questions about, Medicaid. And right now, can my members join Medicaid and get approved for a plan? And the question is really based on if they're joining Medicaid for the first time or they're losing Medicaid, then you can use the MCD code on your applications, either loss of Medicaid or joining Medicaid. But they cannot change plans with their current Medicaid status right now. They'd had to have used AEP to make those changes. So if somebody's QMB right now and they had a certain plan and they wanted to change, unless their Medicaid status has changed, they cannot change their plan right now, okay? Now, I want to give you guys a little secret that some of you may already know, but there is one plan that will allow you to apply someone for Medicaid. If they're denied, you can use that Medicaid letter to get them approved for the plan, and that plan is WellCare. WellCare is accepting Medicaid denial letters as an SEP right now. So let's say you bump into somebody that says, "Look, I'm on this plan and I want off of it. Get me on WellCare." Then what you can do is you can apply that member for Medicaid, and if they get denied Medicaid, you can use that denial letter to do a paper application. It has to be paper with WellCare, and you submit that paper application with the denial letter, and it should go through for January 1st effective. So if you have any stragglers out there that didn't get a chance to enroll for AEP, WellCare will use that Medicaid denial letter to get them into the plan. Okay, they're the only ones that are doing that right now that I'm aware of. But just as a reminder, just because a member has Medicaid, they cannot change plans right now. That's the only exception. Now, if they change levels, let's say they change from QMB to SLMB, or they're joining Medicaid for the first time, then yes, you can use that MCD code, Medicaid, to get them into a plan for January 1st effective. So if you have anyone out there that needs your help applying, but even if they get denied, you still have an SEP to get them in WellCare. Okay, so that's the whole point I was hoping to translate this morning. So more on that. If you guys have questions, it's really important that you understand how to do that, because there's so many people out there in our community that either qualify for Medicaid or they're on the wrong plan, or they can use your help to apply for Medicaid and get those extra benefits, because there's some absolutely fantastic DSNP products out there. But speaking of WellCare, I just want to remind you that WellCare does have a chronic condition plan for diabetics. They do have a PPO product, and they have an incredible spread of DSNP products. Why am I bringing this up is because when I was having a conversation with a couple agents last week, we ran into some diabetics, and we're going to talk a little bit about a diabetic program right now. And the first plan that came to mind was Freedom, and that's great because Freedom really led that space. But we're always forgetting that WellCare has a chronic condition plan for diabetics, okay? So don't forget that, because why is that important? Well, if you run into a member and they are already on Freedom, they're not happy, or maybe their doctors don't take Freedom, you don't want to lose that membership, you know? You don't want to lose that sale just because you don't have the doctor. So you got to remember that WellCare also has that chronic condition plan, and they have one of the largest HMO networks in Florida specifically, but even in the nation in some places as well. Just remember that that chronic condition plan is out there for you and available for diabetics. So, you know, just another little part there. But also the PPO product, as we go into OEP, you're going to have some of your customers and maybe some referrals come to you and say, I didn't make a change in OEP, I missed it, and I want to get out. Maybe I'm interested in a PPO product. And I think a lot of you may have forgotten that WellCare has a very, very, very competitive PPO product, specifically reminding you that their in-network benefits are just as strong as their out-of-network benefits. So it's actually a match. So what they pay for a specialist in-network is the same copay out-of-network, and that's pretty amazing. It's actually industry standard, or industry leading rather, and not a standard for a lot of these plans. So keep that in mind as you're helping people out there, that WellCare does have a pretty strong PPO. And then the last thing about the DSNP product is you have several DSNP products. You have one for the full Medicaid members, right? That's the Liberty plan. You have one for the QMB members, okay? And you have one for the SLMB members as well. Now the SLMB members, the old plan was a select plan. What you really need to remember is those SLMB and QI1 members need to go on the reserve plan. So that one has a stronger benefit package for those folks. So don't forget that that's out there. Very, very strong network. Great DSNP products and benefits, especially with the flex cards that are coming out as well. All of you should already know all that. But just as a reminder, I wanted to touch base on that PPO and then the chronic, because I think a lot of you are missing that or forgetting that they have that in their product portfolio. Okay, so speaking of diabetics, Tom Ryan came across a program a couple weeks ago called the Part D Senior Savings Model. And what this is it's a CMS program that's going to start on January 1st. And the overview here is it's basically designed to reduce the cost of insulin by to $35 copay every month throughout each stage. So from their deductible stage to the catastrophic stage, the coverage gap, they pay $35 a month for their monthly supply of insulin. And this program ties into their health plan, and most of the health plans are already participating in this, so there's no additional application that the member needs to have. They just need to be on the right plan that's participating in the Part D Senior Savings Model program. And what I'm going to do here is I found a video online, and I am hoping that this plays well. So I'm going to go ahead and share this with you guys. And it's my goal to hopefully get the audio to work on this, because sometimes it doesn't. And that way I can get you guys to understand this a little bit better. But on YouTube, if you type in Medicare Part D Senior Savings Model, it's there. I'm going to go ahead and share this, and hopefully this plays well.
Insulin is a critical, often life-saving treatment for millions of people with diabetes in America. But unpredictable costs can present challenges to the people who need it most. The Medicare Part D Senior Savings Model can help. Among people with Medicare, 1 in every 3 has diabetes, and more than 3.3 million use one or more of the common forms of insulin. For some of these people, access to insulin is a critical part of managing their health. Gaps in access to insulin can increase the risk of serious complications, ranging from vision loss to kidney failure, to foot ulcers, to heart attacks.
For 7 million Americans who are living with diabetes, insulin is the life-saving drug that they need in order to thrive. It's incredibly important that they be able to afford this insulin.
Most people with Medicare have coverage for insulin through their Medicare Part D prescription drug coverage. However, based on the way Part D is structured, what someone pays out of pocket for insulin can change from one month to the next. This unpredictability in cost can become a barrier to effectively managing diabetes. In March 2020, the Medicare Part D senior savings model was announced to address President Trump's promise to lower prescription drug costs.
It's going to make such a difference to the lives of many seniors across the country. And I am optimistic that this could be a model to lower the cost of many other drugs in the Medicare program.
This model will provide Medicare patients with new choices of Medicare Part D prescription drug plans that offer insulin at an affordable and predictable cost. In these plans, a 30-day supply of a broad set of insulins on the plan's formulary will cost no more than $35. This means that people with Medicare could save an average of $446 per year.
The reduction in prices and costs of insulin would benefit me and many, many other Americans to be able to have a few niceties in life. Would allow me privilege of making extra trips to the beauty shop, extra clothes that I love, trips with friends out to eat, and the little extras that you can't afford if you have to pay back for insulin.
I pay more for insulin than I pay for property tax. I order through the mail, and that's the cheapest, least expensive, 90-day supply. But as soon as I order it, I'd immediately go into the donut hole. And there I go for the next 2 times, and then I come out at the end to catastrophic. But by that time, I'm out of pocket over $6,000. And now I'll be out of pocket, $35 a month max. That's real money. That is real money.
There is significant interest from sponsors offering Part D plans and participating in the Medicare Senior Savings Model. This means that America's seniors across the nation will have access to more affordable insulin drugs. People with Medicare will be able to find and compare the Part D plans that offer this coverage on Medicare.gov during the fall open enrollment period, which begins on October 15, 2020. The new coverage will begin on January 1st, 2021. Medicare is dedicated to providing increased access and more affordable prices for the prescription drugs that America's seniors need most.
All right, so hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight on what CMS is doing to help with seniors and making sure that they're getting the medications. Because like it said in the video, a lot of these folks may be choosing not extra trips to the beauty salon, but whether they're eating or not. And that's real, real life situations. And I've come across those things many times in my career. And so you can read more about the Medicare Part D savings program. And I'm going to open it up to questions because I do have the Part D pulled up here as well to see, what we can do to help our seniors with that. But again, basically what it's going to do is it ties in with the current health plan that the member has. Most of the major health plans are participating in that. And it should reduce their insulin and insulin alternatives to $35 a month for their monthly supply. So really, really big thing that they've done in order to help that. Now, why am I telling you guys this is because you may run into people out there in the community that may not be on a plan that participates with this insulin savings program. And like it said in the video, where do I find or make sure that the health plan is participating in the Part D senior savings model? And that is going to be on Medicare.gov when you do your plan finder. It identifies which plans are participating in the Part D senior savings model. And there are going to be some plans out there, some Medicare Advantage plans that are not part of this or choose not to do that senior savings model program just yet. And so you'll come across people that are saying, hey, I'm paying, $600 a month for my insulin, and that's big, So if we have the knowledge to help our community and let them know that there is help out there, sometimes it might be necessary to change their plan in order to get that extra help with the Part D senior savings model for the insulin program. So just keep that in mind. You can do some more research on Medicare.gov, or if you just Google Part D senior savings model, you can find more information. I have it pulled up here. I'm sure a few of you may have some questions on that. I'll do my best to answer them. But what we'll do now as we end our call is I just want to remind you that, yes, the holidays are here, and we're going to get through Christmas, and we're going to get through New Year's, but next month is OEP, Open Enrollment Period for Medicare, and we will have the opportunity to help more folks find a Medicare Advantage plan or change their plan because they're not happy, or maybe they forgot that they were supposed to choose a plan in OEP. So just make sure that you're prepared for OEP. I know my team is reaching out to you guys to get your book of business ready for phone calls or mail outs or text messages or emails or whatever you're going to do to communicate. And I don't mean to scare anybody or drive fear into you, but just remember that OEP still leaves the back door open for your members to make a change also. So it is ultimately most important that you concentrate on retention. Okay, so retention is the name of the game from January 1st to April 1st, and the reason being is because they can make one more change. So you're going to be out there doing what you do, whether you're marketing at physician offices or you're doing mail outs or you're doing tabletop events in the community. Wherever you're doing your marketing, you're going to be capturing folks that may be on a plan, but so are your members. So first and foremost, just focus on retention. And still, for open enrollment, we realize that our number one lead source is client referrals. And so treating your members with 5-star white glove service is really how you're generating this business. And I've seen it. All the top producers, their number one lead source is client referrals. It's really, really incredible to see that. You guys are doing such a great job. So keep that in mind as you're preparing for OEP. We are going to be creating some assets to get your book of business, letters, or I think we're going to do postcards again, phone calls for those that are interested in participating, and as far as retention goes. And, we also have text message, phone blasts, and emails. All of that's available to reach your members. And the biggest part of that is just making sure that you keep that relationship with your customers. That's the main objective, is keeping that relationship strong and healthy. Even if you're just touching base and say, I know you're a brand new member with me, and I'm just checking to make sure you got your ID card. So we have all of that available to help you and to manage your relationships and make sure that everyone is taken care of. Beyond that, please keep a lookout for events in the community. It's a great time to get back out in the field. Why? Because most of the captive agents and other agents have decided not to be out there in the community, obviously because of safety reasons. But if you have opportunities and you're bold enough to get out there and meet with people, obviously I want you guys to be safe and healthy. But if you're bold enough to get out in the community, it's wide open. It is wide open. There's doctors' offices, there's events, there's senior centers, and most importantly, the senior communities maybe open up to having events, at least one-on-one or small groups of people, where you can help a lot of these folks get information about their Medicare coverage. And I know that's a big part of the population that was missed this year because agents just didn't go to them as we normally did. So think about that as you're creating your OEP plan for 2021, and just keep us in mind on what we can do to help you and to support you during open enrollment for next year. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. We have a little bit of a shorter call this morning, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. So if you have any questions this morning, please shoot.
Justin, a couple things.
Sure.
If you want to remind everyone what the holidays hours are verbally. I know we sent out an email. And
yeah.
to what dollar amount for events?
Okay, great. So first question or first reminder is this week we have holiday hours, and just as a reminder what our holiday hours are is we are open normal hours today, Monday, December 21st and 22nd. We will be having a half day on the 23rd, so we'll be open until noon on the 23rd, and we're closing at noon on the 23rd. And then we will be closed December 24th and 25th. We'll come back to work on Monday the 28th and kind of repeat the same sequence of events, but we'll have a phone call about that next week. So those are the hours. And then, John, your second question was about dollar amounts for events. Is that right?
Yeah, because I know you mentioned a few calls back about if I were to find an event, you know, it would be sponsored and it was like a certain dollar amount. I don't remember what that was.
Yeah, so that we don't have a set dollar amount per se because every event does vary. So normally if it's under $100, it's probably going to be approved, no problem. We just need to make sure that it's the right demographics, of course. But, you know, don't discount anything out there if you think it's too expensive. You know, just run it by us because there's a possibility that we might be able to get some of the carriers to assist us with the cost of those events. So nothing's out of the question per se, but you know, if it's over $100, we definitely need to talk about it. But if it's under $100, it shouldn't be an issue. Thanks, John. Thanks for the reminders. All right, any other questions or thoughts I can help with? I think you guys are ready for some eggnog. All right. Well, with that, I wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday, and we will... Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
Listen, yeah, you were finishing already. But anyways, I don't see Freedom offering the senior savings model. And I am not sure if if it is because of the chronic condition plans. However, maybe the other ones, they don't offer that, the core plans. Because here on Medicare.gov, Freedom doesn't come up, you know. For example, and not only Freedom, also, let's say, Bright Health and a couple more.
Yeah, we did talk to Freedom about that. He had mentioned that they were participating, but I will double check for you, Pedro, because if it's not showing up on CMS, he needs to be aware of that. But you are right. Some of the other carriers are not going to show up there because they decided not to participate in that Part D senior savings program. But you'll see many of the major carriers are already there. And this is considered a pilot program with CMS, so it's something new that they're rolling out to assist the seniors to reduce that copay down to $35. But you are right. You won't see all the carriers out there. And that's case in point. That's an opportunity in case you bump into somebody that's on insulin that is on a plan that's not showing up on that list. You could really help them save a lot of money. So I'm glad you're taking a look at that. But as far as Freedom goes, I will have to circle back with you and find out the answer to that.
Yeah, and it's not only Freedom, Justin. Also, WellCare is. I only see here Care Plus, Humana, United, and Aetna, and the Blues. That doesn't count for us.
Right, exactly.
So that's all I see here. So I don't see here WellCare, not even WellCare. So and I thought that they were participating. I thought.
Yeah, and we'll double check with each one of those carriers. But you're right. Some of those carriers are not going to show up on that Part D senior savings program, and it could be because they have chronic condition plans that are specifically designed for folks that have diabetes, and that's where the savings model is kind of baked in there. But we will double check to see exactly what their plan of action is, or if they should be on that list, because sometimes the CMS does make a mistake. We do see that from time to time.
Right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're welcome. Thanks for the heads up. And Pedro, can you share with everyone where you're at on the Medicare.gov webpage so they know where to find it?
Absolutely. When you go to Medicare.gov, you go to find a plan, and then as usually, we do to see all plans in the area. But you can click on the top right, filter plans. When you click filter plans, you're gonna see an option that is insulin savings. If you click that, it's gonna filter in that area all the plans that are in the senior savings model.
Outstanding. And I'm going to share my screen because I found right where you're talking about. So I'm going to pop this up, and I am recording this, guys. So just in case you want to come back and look at the video, you can look at it. So when you find your plans, you're going to type in your zip code, of course, and it's going to show, like for instance, I put in Orange County. There's 48 Medicare Advantage plans that pop up right away. That's outside of special needs. But what Pedro was showing us is on the top right corner, there's a green button. It says Filter Plans. And when you click that, you're going to see it's under drug. Oh, I see. There's a checkbox right on the right-hand side, Insulin Savings Program. And out of that, it pops up 18 Medicare Advantage plans in Orange County specifically. But, again, wherever you are in the world, if you're in Duval County or if you're in New Jersey or California, you would just type in your zip code and it would pop up those same exact criteria, so it pulls up the plans that are available in your area. But fantastic. Pedro, thank you for sharing that. We really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right. Any other questions this morning? Okay, my friends, I wish everyone a very safe holiday week and weekend. I hope you get lots of time with your family and rest up when you can. And then we're back to work. We'll see you here next Monday, the 28th, at the same time, 9 o'clock. Have a wonderful week.